And ahead of the presidential primaries of the People's Democratic Party, former Secretary to the Government of the Federation and presidential hopeful Ayim Pius Ayim is promising to rebuild the country's economy and empower states through harnessing their natural resources. While speaking to delegates from Kogi and Zamfara State, the presidential aspirants decried the economic and social challenges confronting the country. Well, he says he understands the challenges and how to fix them. Well, according to Ayim, the PDP has always prioritized the affairs of women.
If you want to know what I will do with women, just look back at President Goodluck's administration and see what we did with women. Under that administration, for the first time, a woman was coordinating the entire economy. Under that administration, for the first time, a woman headed the petroleum industry. Under that administration, for the first time, a woman headed the aviation industry. Under that administration, for the first time, a woman headed the environment. In our inclusive governance blueprint, we identified 3 major areas that we must mainstream for purposes of inclusivity. 1, women. And we identified that the women of Nigeria are well educated, well trained, well professionalized, but lacks opportunity to display their competence. The fastest growing economy in Africa. We had this country on the path of peace, where unity was returning to this country. We had this country on the path of security, where you can travel from Abuja to Zamfara without any fear. But today, this is where we are. No. Do you know the problem? Leadership. And it's the leadership that will bridge that gap. That is what I'm offering.
Okay, for more on this, we're now being joined by Katch Ononuju, a representative and team member of the Ayim Pius Ayim presidential campaign. Thanks so very much for joining us, and not to forget you're a member of the PDP. What would ask now is, what are some of the unique selling points, that you want to tell Nigerians that the former president of the Senate, former cabinet secretary to the Federal Executive Council has all it takes to become Nigeria's president?
Yes. First, I want to correct you. I am a member of the PDP, and I
thought I mentioned that.
Yes. I am for the PDP, the Nigerian project, and specifically a president of Nigeria of Southeast extraction. And I'm very happy that you brought up this question. We have, as you've heard Senator Pius Ayim explain, while he was Secretary to the Government, Nigeria had the fastest growing middle class, fastest growing economy in Africa. We were home to the very best that everybody in Africa was very proud of. And what he's telling you is he ran that government as the SDF. And if you look at from the Southeast, we have all the candidates of incredible sterling qualities. And we are asking everybody that for the sake of the Nigerian project, stick to the zoning. Don't change the goalposts when it's simply our turn of the Southeast. Allow the zoning on which the party was built foundationally to remain. Don't undermine the Southeast. If you damage the zoning, I think that might be damaging the party.
Well, we've seen members like yourself really talk about, some of them have spoken in the same vein like you have just now, but some of us are saying, what, the PDP, held the center for 16 years and they've seen more of the Southerners, talking about 14 years of Southern presidency and just 2 years of the North. And let's look at, the entire zoning argument. Your NEC was supposed to have had a meeting within the last 2 weeks, but that has been shifted because a lot of us know that the zoning issue is still quite controversial. Let's talk about the implications of your party, the PDP, decided not to go with its zoning arrangement, which is enshrined in its constitution.
Yes, as you were saying earlier, the real record is out of 62 years of self-rule, the North has had the rulership for up to 47, 48 years. So if you look at that, you will see that it's not properly placed. In 2015, a lot of members of the PDP formed a caucus and used that caucus to build a national coalition called MPDP. That caucus MPDP worked to bring in President Buhari. And we believe after 8 years of President Buhari's rule, those members of the PDP who brought Buhari to power have no right to return back to the PDP to now ask that the zoning, which had successfully in place the advantage for the North, and now that we've seen that the political clock is going back to the South, it is the turn of the South, specifically the Southeast. So that is where it is. Don't forget the story they're telling you. The laws on which we run today, Decree 24, was signed by an Northerner from North Central. So you cannot wish away the truth of all our 62 years of self-rule and then start counting from just yesterday. No.
But the direct question I ask you, the implication, if your party jettisons,
my party is suffering from the same disease it suffered in 2015. It should allow the zoning which the party was founded upon, which Nigeria is built on. Don't forget, the issues of fairer character and what do you call that again? Sharing of to force equity, to force inclusiveness, also it's enshrined in the Constitution. And if you're looking for unity and peace in nation building, don't forget the words equity, justice, and fairness. They are not just words. They are foundational perspective upon which nation building is built upon.
So on what foundation is your candidate, Pius Ayim Pius, hinging on how to regenerate the Nigerian nation? What are the cardinal points? How many are these?
If you check so far, the candidates from the East seem to have very clear, established experiences and, in this case, visions. It's not a game of I will start. Pius Ayim is telling you that yesterday I was the pillar behind a government that was responsible for the fastest growing economy in Africa, the home to the largest concentration of fastest growing middle class in Africa, and that was Nigeria. So if we have the experience to have done all this, nobody says that we should stop or that we cannot replicate what we did. Today the country is divided. Why? President Buhari decided to embrace nepotism.
Well, it's not about President Muhammad Buhari.
It's about the country. It's about Nigeria.
The conversation now is about your party. I'm looking ahead of the 2023 election. So what happens if eventually, going by what has happened with your 37-member committee on zoning, they say throw it open. So what happens if they say
there's no sense throwing it open? These are just insinuations.
It's not an insinuation.
Chairman said he is yet to submit his report, and the report we will hear from the NEC. You just guess. You are guessing. Allow the NEC to state. Let the NEC state. You are speculating. Allow the NEC to speak. You are not the member of the NEC.
So the question is, what happens if the NEC decides to throw it open?
Well, if the NEC decides not to respect the foundations upon which the party is built on, I reckon a lot of members of the party from the South will do exactly what the members of the party from the North did in 2015, and that was to insist it is our turn, and we will work with any platform that allows us to present a presidential candidate.
So you said that the Southeast would actually leave the PDP if you do not get the party.
Well, if you remember in 2015, the North didn't have to leave the PDP to vote the way they did.
All right, thanks so very much, Moses Zook. Dr. Katch Ononuju is a member of the PDP and a key member of the Pius Ayim presidential team, right?